I see
Nate,
what
you're
you
full
did
of
there.
gimmicks, though.
I'm full of gimmicks, but these players, they don't need to be full of gimmicks. You know what I'm saying? Where the real is accepted and the fake is deflected. My wife came up with that.
You're going to build a Voltron today that I'm very excited about with all the wide receivers, so much depth, so at the skill positions in the combine. 300 of the next stars of tomorrow are in Indianapolis. Our star, Peter Schrager, is there right now. Set the scene for us. How's it going out there in Indy?
Well, thank you, Kay. Good morning, everybody back at home. We're here in Indianapolis, and it's a very busy Tuesday. Let me give you the lay of the land. A lot of the top players are going to be speaking to the media at a podium for the first time as prospective NFL players. Joe Burrow is going to speak in the 9 a.m. hour. Tua is expected to speak in the 10 a.m. hour. And then a lot of the different coaches are going to be coming and funneling through. On our show, we've got a great list of guests. Zach Taylor, coach of the Cincinnati Bengals with the #1 overall pick. He'll be on our show today, as will Cliff Kingsbury, as will Joe Judge, the new head coach of the New York Giants. He will be joining us on Good Morning Football. But throughout the day, there will be players funneling through, being interviewed, asking all the tough questions. So will the coaches. And, of course, outside this stuff, there's going to be a lot of gossip, a lot of rumors, and it kind of got started last night. I had a night last night. I had a chance to catch up with Matt Nagy. I spoke with Sean McVay, spoke with Cliff Kingsbury, Matt LaFleur. But I was happiest to link up with the world champion head coach and general manager of the Kansas City Chiefs. A big night for me. I got to dine with the champions. There's Big Red. There's Andy Reid. That is Brett Veach, the GM of the Chiefs. Had a little sit down with those guys. Got the latest of what it's been like 3 weeks after winning a Super Bowl and how it's feeling out there in Kansas City. All 32 teams are present. Right now, those guys are the Kings, and they are right back at the board, and they are back at the drawing board because they want to get back to the Super Bowl next year. But it is alive. Joe Burrow's in the building. We should be getting going, and it starts right now.
And we'll be bringing you those interviews, of course.
That was awesome.
You,
Disneyland for people.
Oh, I know. It's totally the best.
I got to know what
ever.
they ate.
Out in Indy, back here in studio, one of those 32 teams are the Cowboys. Let's hit the lead block.
Lead block.
All right, gotta talk Dallas, guys. I think we don't want to because there doesn't seem to be any real news here, but they're still working on reaching a deal with their quarterback, Dak Prescott. Not only him, but their wide receiver, Amari Cooper. Their executive vice president, Stephen Jones, was asked if he was surprised the team hadn't reached a deal with Dak. We certainly are. What about you, Mr. Jones?
Certainly doesn't surprise me that it's not done yet right now. I mean, I was surprised that we didn't get it done at the beginning of the season. And obviously, you know, Jerry's thoughts on it. We all thought we were close, but we weren't able to get it done. I mean, Dak's our quarterback, and, you know, he's our quarterback for the future, and we have nothing but the greatest respect for him. He's a competitor. You know, he's won a lot of football games for us. Obviously, he, like us, we all want to take that next step. You know, and get into a championship game and, you know, get to the big game and ultimately win a championship.
I think I speak for everyone on planet Earth in saying, yeah, we're right there with you, Stephen Jones. We'd like to see you take that step one way or the other, whatever direction we're going in. Do these words change anything, guys, in your perspective on what you think's going on with or without Dak and the Cowboys?
He should still get a deal done. I feel like these words haven't changed anything for me. I've always felt like Dak Prescott over the first few years of his career has proved to be one of the better quarterbacks in this league. He's not in the elite conversation of top 5, but in my opinion, Dak Prescott is a top 10 quarterback. So with what he has done, a big-time deal. We're talking $35+ million.
35.
Yeah, go ahead and reset the market for the second tier. I'm not talking about the highest-paid quarterback in the business. I mean, you have to be a Super Bowl champion for that. We'll leave that up to Pat Mahomes. But with what he's saying, Dak Prescott is our quarterback. He's won some games for us. We want to take the next step and get to a Super Bowl. That means a deal is in the works.
Something's amuck.
What do you mean, Kyle?
And I don't know what it is.
I don't know either.
I smell a rat.
I know. It's hashtag amuck. AMOK. There's weird stuff going on here. Remember how weird the Cowboys were with their firing of Jason Garrett? That was weird. Yeah. This is getting strange, too. Stephen Jones also said regarding Dak Prescott's agent, Todd France, there in Indianapolis, will we talk to him? Hopefully so. Don't have a firm meeting set up. Can they not get a table in Indy? Because Schrager got a table last. I think they can get a table. He also said, quote, I don't think we have our hands on what the next steps are. A lot of hand talk. Most of it's Joe Burrow, but I think something's going on here, too. One of 3 things are amuck. Okay? Either they're going to give Dak this big contract and just haven't gotten to it yet, despite
big
him,
meaning like record.
Yeah, like what the market warrants.
Okay.
And they haven't gotten to it yet, despite the fact that he's won 40 games, never missed a game. It's a little weird. Either they're going to tag him, which is going to bring the sky down. They're going to lowball him, or there is some wild nuclear option where they're going to either move away from him or throw $50 million at Tom Brady or something like that. Something is amok.
Okay,
this is not normal business.
Let's put more clues together then.
Okay,
Our
let's
very
do it.
own Jane Slater down there in Dallas covers the Cowboys better than anyone, in my opinion. She's in the know, and she herself asked Stephen Jones about where the team placed signing Amari Cooper on their priorities list, because we know this isn't just about Dak.
We have a list, and certainly this is where it starts, especially with our own guys right here at Indy. And, I think we're going to, know where we are on the CBA more than likely, sooner than later. And, we're going to be here at Indy visiting with agents, and our goals and we certainly have priorities. And, our goal is to sign as many of our guys as we can sign. I mean, we like our players. That's always been, our priority is to go that direction. And then, where we come up short, we'll certainly look to free agency and see where we can fill holes.
Guys, this continues to sound like the old relationship metaphor that we've used so many times talking about the situation about a guy who likes a girl a lot but doesn't want to put a ring on it.
Right.
That said, though, I'm starting to think about this a little bit differently.
Right.
Because you have the guy who's maybe trying to put a rock on it. They're certainly talking about it. I mean, we don't know anything from Dak's side. Dak hasn't said a peep. And maybe they can't, the girl's saying no because the ring isn't big enough. And she's like, don't come ask me for my hand unless you give me that 5-carat ring that I've wanted since I was a little girl. So maybe we're looking from this from a perspective of, what does Dak want? Does Dak want to be the highest paid quarterback in the NFL? Do you guys think that's what he's after?
I don't.
No. You don't?
I actually, Kay, I think that they're relying on Dak being okay with the 2-carat ring or the 1-carat. I do. Like the James Marsden to the Ryan Gosling, the one who's like, we know he'll settle for it. I'm listening to Stephen Jones. That's what's known as hemming and hawing.
Okay.
Just talking. You're just hemming and you're hawing. And I always think a huge factor in this is Dak's makeup. Never underestimate that Dak is the ultimate Dallas Cowboys employee.
I think I'm starting to doubt
In the
that.
front office, and also as it pertains to social issues that'll come up. Keeps his mouth shut, says I'm ready to play. He still doesn't have a deal. If you're Dak,
they offered him a 3-carat ring. You're saying he'll settle for a 2. He didn't settle for a $33 million ring, reportedly.
But that's reportedly. That's all speculation.
I think they're thinking Amari, free agents, we can get Dak for cheap. We can sit him down and talk about that yogurt money. I really think that's the plan. And I think it's a good one.
And as much as Dak Prescott has been a company dude, I really don't see him turning down $33 million if Jerry Jones walks into the locker room and
you
says,
don't really believe those reports?
I don't believe those reports. And even Dak Prescott said, listen, I'm not going to touch that. I'm here to play football. But Kyle, you mentioned it, though. You talked about the different options of what they're trying to do. Either they're going to break the bank, they're going to play in middle of the pack, they're going to tag them, or they're going to lowball them. I feel like there is a possibility that they tag him. And Dak Prescott isn't going to bother with coming out and saying, I deserve more money, because he doesn't want to rock the boat. When you think about all of these characters, Amari Cooper, Dak Prescott, Zeke Elliott, the Jones family, it is a diverse group of individuals that keep us glued to our seats. It's like TV. It's like Stranger Things. The cast will bring that to the table. Sure. And I don't think that it's going to turn the world upside down if they do tag him. I think Dak Prescott will be perfectly fine with it.
They had these talks in September. They were going okay. They didn't go well. Then Stephen Jones also mentioned DeMarcus Lawrence. The deal wasn't happening. Both sides weren't negotiating. They got on the phone 36 hours later. They have a deal. So he said, optimistically, it could happen just like that. Why hasn't the deal gotten done then? If you're saying Dak would be a Boy Scout and settle, and the Cowboys will pony up an okay amount of money, tell me why the deal's not done.
I feel like with Jerry Jones and the amount of money that they've already paid their primetime players over the last year or so, starting with Jalen Smith and then Ezekiel Elliott, I think he's sitting back saying, am I going to break the bank once again? Because a lot of people are scratching their head over the Ezekiel Elliott deal. Not that he isn't worth it, but are you going to pony up that much money for a running back who in 5 years isn't going to be as good as he once was? So I think that's why he's hesitating. Because Jerry Jones said it on our show. He's never the one to catch a cramp when writing a big check. But his last 2 deals, people have been scratching their head.
Why isn't the deal done?
There doesn't seem to be urgency. We talked about it. He is on record as saying, maybe we'll meet with his agent at the Combine. Everybody's meeting. And that tells me that Dak is not stomping his foot and saying, I want my money, as he should, because there's no football reason why he shouldn't be paid. He's a good player. He's been a very healthy
And there's
Never
no backup
missed a
plan.
game.
No, and there's no backup plan.
And there's no backup plan.
I mean, a sort of anything wild, like they move on from Dak, which I don't think they will, it should happen.
What if you're Dak's agent? Would you be okay with him getting franchised this year? And you're saying there's no urgency. That tag deadline's going to come and go. You franchise him, so he'd make what the average of the top 5. That's $27 million a year.
That's good money.
Okay, this year. And then the new CBA is negotiated. Salary cap goes up, and he can get broke off after that.
I would not be okay with that.
You would not be okay with
Two quarterbacks in the whole league have won 40 games in the last 4 years. My client is one of them. I want huge money now.
But
All
then,
right.
if you look at Kirk Cousins and what he did,
Back to
get $50
back.
million back-to-back years in Washington,
He'll get
and then
$70
get
million
$90 million with the
franchise
Vikings.
tagged.
Just saying.
Doesn't get to play for the Cowboys, though.
What if that cap goes way up, though? Ooh, Schrager is in Indianapolis. He's definitely dealing with all of the rumors and the fun of the combine. What do you think about
like he's
Stephen
having a
Jones?
blast.
And his, I know he just wants to get in here. Go ahead, Shrake, take it away.
Few things here. I mean, let's start off with the franchise tag itself. Now, it was supposed to be that Tuesday was the deadline. You have to give the franchise tag. Now it's been moved to Thursday because of this new CBA talks. There's something called the transition tag and the franchise tag. In the old CBA, the one that we're currently on, you can use both the transition and the franchise. Talk is, in the new CBA, you're only be able to use one of those. So if you're the Cowboys, I'm not signing Dak to anything, and I'm not giving any tags to anybody if the CBA is going to be changed in 2 days. That's one thing. Second thing is, Dak had an agent out of college. He's got a new agent now. Todd France does not suffer fools. Todd France is at CAA, and he represents not only Dak Prescott, but he also does the Bosas, and he does Joe Burrow, and he's a big-name agent. And you don't hire Todd France to handle your deals so that you could take a hometown discount. Any agent can do that. You hire Todd France because you want the top dollar. Dak might not say that. Dak might not wear that on his sleeve, but Dak hired one of the top agents in the business, not to take a hometown discount or to be a good sport or to say, I'm going to make a lot of money on yogurt contracts. No, he hired one of the top agents to really negotiate a deal and to get the most money from the Dallas Cowboys. I don't think it's as clean and easy as everyone thinks it is, and I don't think Dak is just looking there and say, hey, give me